So I did promise you that we were going to talk a little bit about the stuff you already know, all right? The generic self-help advice that we've already heard from a million different people in a million different ways. I am going to go over it again. I promise, no more than 5 minutes. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page, because you'd be surprised how often some of this stuff hasn't been explained in common sense. So your top 5, right, that people tend to go into are getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, doing some exercise, having some hobbies, and having positive relationships, right? Now, to be 100% clear, all of these things, very strong, clear scientific data to show that they make a big difference to your well-being. So I don't want to be poo-pooing them going, these things are just a tiny little speck, let's just brush over them, okay? They are important. The reason that I am brushing over them is because I'm pretty confident you've heard them all before. Somebody has already given you this stuff, so I'm not going to spend your valuable time going over it again. I think we can dig a little bit deeper, but I don't want to invalidate that this stuff is important. There's 2 points about it that I do want to make though, okay? So sleep, exercise, nutrition, relationships, hobbies. Most of us know we're meant to do those things, but it's not always that easy, right? Real life happens. And we do find it hard to do something as simple as sleep hygiene and to not find ourselves scrolling our Facebook dooms feeds just as we're going to bed, right? Every night. And only mean to give yourself 5 minutes of doing it, and then suddenly it's 11:30 at night and you're still scrolling and you haven't done anything that feels useful with your life. Like, we are all human beings and we are all susceptible to some of this stuff. All right. So firstly, I want to be clear about a good approach to suddenly deciding you're going to take your well-being really seriously. Not being to decide, okay, first thing Monday morning, because, we all know diet starts on a Monday morning, waiting until a Monday morning and then going, okay, that's cool. From here on in, I'm going to only eat healthy. I'm going to take a salad every day. I'm going to run to work. I'm going to, go to the gym 7 days a week. I'm going to go out and, build new relationships with people. I'm going to join a chess club and a book club. What happens when we do that is we get a week, maybe 2 weeks into it, and of course 80% of that is flopped, and we're, eating pasta carbonara and sitting at home crying in front of Netflix, because we're human and that's what happens. And when you try really hard to go really hard at something, your likelihood of it all coming crumbling down pretty high. So my biggest point with a lot of those kind of basics of self-care, and in fact everything else I'm going to teach you over the rest of this program, is small steps. Okay, give yourself one target a week, or if it's a big one, make it one target a month. Make one small actionable change to see progress, okay, and see the progress before adding in a new one or upping the ante on that existing one. So rather than I'm going to go to the gym every day this week, just simply, I'm going to walk around the block before bed once this week, or rather than I'm going to take salads for lunch every day this week, I'm going to have an apple with my lunch every day this week. Really, I discourage you from trying to go all or nothing, because it tends to flip back to nothing really quickly, and then you feel even worse about yourself, and then you have a whole bunch of learned helplessness, so you're less likely to do it again in the future because you feel like it's not going to work. So choose a thing, do it until it's habit, and then up the ante, either in that space or pick a new project. All right, small baby steps. Yes. The other thing I want to talk about in this space, okay, there is really clear evidence for the health and mental health benefits of all of these things. If you can only focus on one, if you've only got the time or the mental energy to do one of these things well, relationships should be it. All right. If you are eating terribly and getting no sleep and sitting on your butt because all you're doing is going out with a really great bunch of friends and eating food together into the wee hours of the morning, but you're building strong relationships with people you can rely on, that is a trait you should take. Okay. There is clear evidence that loneliness is as bad for your health as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. So I really want you to keep that in mind whenever you are opting to stay home. Because going out is exhausting. Making plans is so tiring. Committing to something more than an hour in advance is awful, but let alone getting asked to do last minute plans. We've kind of become the society where everything feels really hard. And when you ask somebody before they do a social thing if they're going to enjoy it, a vast proportion of us predict that we don't want to do it. But when you ask them afterwards, the vast proportion of us, even introverts, actually admit that it improved our quality of life that day. So, this is my key point to you. All right. Those things matter. There's clear science, even in the veterinary profession. This has actually been studied. The AVMA did a pretty good, thorough kind of comparing the levels of distress and then people that were not self reporting as not distressed compared to the types of activities they were doing. These things do matter, but they're not the be all and end all. Don't go all or nothing. And if you're going to prioritize any of them, choose relationships.